What's going on, people? Hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel. Wow, what a night of football last night. Arsenal were superb, and we're going to talk all about it. Arsenal beating PSG 2-0 in the Champions League, got back to winning ways after the draw away at Atlanta, which, to be fair, is actually a difficult place to go. We've now got Atalanta away and PSG at home over with. There's only Inter Milan away that people are saying is difficult. All the rest of them should be winnable for Arsenal. But we've got to go into every game with the same focus that we did for last night because it was superb. So, look, we are going to be talking about what Arsenal can do in this competition, how confident we are moving forward, and some of the games coming up thick and fast. And to do that with, of course, it's myself and Lee Judges. Lee, how did you find last night, mate?
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Really enjoyed it last night. That's how to play in Europe. Listen, I'll give the team a little bit of a free ride because that Atalanta game was in between Tottenham and Manchester City. So I'll take that as a good point. Forget about the performance. Never actually looked at that performance. Never looked at it. You know, I know a lot of fans for content reasons and have to criticise it and do whatever like, but I never did. I just kept my powder dry because I knew in the context of what was coming and what we was going through that week, that was probably like okay to just get the result, forget about the performance. But not so much yesterday. It was all about the result and the performance, Dan. I wanted to see a good performance in Europe because we haven't had one really against one of the better teams. And, you know, so you have to take that into context as well. But I thought yesterday that was as good as European performance as I've ever known. Forget about what you think about PSG now. Everybody was going like, oh, they haven't got impact, but they're still a very, very good team. They're this and they're that. They're this and, you know, blah, 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 blah. Put them to the sword. 51 games they've gone when they've scored in every group game. Put it to bed. Bang. Stops them. And I thought they had some really, really good players, like, you know, in the side, like, you know, Hakimi on the right. Oh, my God, what a fantastic right back he is, like, you know. Calafiori had his work cut out there, dug in and got the job done. I thought first half, Dan, I don't think you could say that there was a better performance in Europe that we've played in, where we've controlled the game, let them come on to us, hit them on the break, do all the things that you need to do. I thought it was controlled. I thought we knew exactly what we wanted to do, where to take them, where not to. And in the second half, it was just, okay, let's see it out. Job done. It's so professional. I think that's the word I'm going to use. It was such a professional performance. And I don't know about you, Dan, but I wasn't, even when they put it on us in that last, I never thought we was going to concede. I just felt like, you know, they were just banging on the door and we was just like sitting behind it laughing. You know, it wasn't going to happen, like, you know. I just thought we was superb, like, you know, and can I say it, as comfortable as an evening you can be. I have to say this. I went to the game, different pressure. I don't know if you felt this. It was just a more relaxed. If we draw the game, it's not the end of the world where it is in the league at this moment. There's a lot of pressure on those league games at this moment in time. So it was, you know, a little bit like the League Cup game. I felt like relaxed. I know it was Bolton, PSG, completely different, but I was in that mindset like, oh, well, we'll see what happens. Thoroughly enjoyed the evening and the performance and some of the standout performances. Got to say, Trossard, probably his best game for Arsenal. I thought he was superb. Havertz up front, unbelievable. And backed up by, I think probably, I'm going to be really harsh when I say this, first half from Timber, I'm thinking if I'm Ben White, and I love Ben White and how well he's been playing, but I'm now
How
starting.
good was he, mate? Timber,
how good was that first half performance? I'm thinking if I'm Ben White, and he doesn't deserve me to be thinking this, but he must be thinking, "Oh, I'm glad he's picked up a little muscle injury now," because I was panicking for Ben, and Ben's been absolutely unbelievable. But Trossard in that first half and Timber were on a different level. But over the 90 minutes, you know, King Kai done it again for me. I think now it's time everybody just starts sort of saying that you know, he's a player. He's a proper player. He was superb. Like, it's not just his play down. I love the way they're two good central defenders they had. He bashes into them and he's in their faces, isn't he? Like, do you know what I mean? He doesn't take no crap. I love that. I do love that about him. I know. Like, so even if he's not playing well, he's causing problems. Like, you know. So listen, I think. The squad shows that it is stronger than what perhaps we was thinking it was, Dan. If we'd be really honest, I think we've not. I'm still saying we're probably one or two short, but you know they look really good. And I tell you another performance, Thomas Partey in that first half. Oh my God.
Outstanding.
Oh my God, how good was he? You know, and to take him off after 60 minutes and get
That's
Marino
great, though, wasn't it?
was brilliant.
Great.
Brilliant.
I've got to
Very
say, like, I'm going to come on to some of the players in a minute, but I have to big up the PSG fan base, by the way,
oh God,
because they were outstanding. They were insane. I mean, it's 1-0 down, Lee, and they're still like they've won the game. 2-0 down, like they've just scored. Like they were what a fan base should be. And I always say to me, Dad, always look at the Dortmund fans, the yellow wall, and I see a yellow, even at the away game at the Emirates. I always look at Dortmund thinking, yeah, they're going to be tough to be beat. But my God, I thought PSG were as good, if not better than them. They were loud, they were scary, they were loving life. They had their shirts off, they were clapping, they were swinging their shirts and scarves around. And that was from minute 1 to minute like 70, by the way. Like they did not stop, even at the scoreline. And you got to say hats off to them, because there's a fan base at the times. We're not the best when we go 2-0 down, are we? Arsenal can be silenced. But my goodness, they weren't. And I thought straight away, before I go into anything else, hats off to them, because their fan base were amazing.
I have to say, unbelievable. And they was like that before the kickoff as well. They was in there about an hour before. I got in a bit early, like yesterday, and half hour before, and I was. They was at it then. They was at it then, and there were parts of the game that I couldn't keep my eyes off of them. I kept watching them. Like they were swaying around. They'd done this sway thing. It was all done. And do you know what? I don't know if it's a rule, but everybody was joining in. If you don't join in, I think you get kicked out. I think like because everybody was just doing it, like you know, and they was going absolutely insane on it. And I have to say, you know, I mean, big credit to them, like you know, and I thought that they were brilliant. I have to say, I thought they were brilliant, and they made the whole evening. But I can tell you, I've been to Paris when at home. They're like that at home as well. That whole behind the goal does that the whole game as well. Like it's incredible. They're one of the best supporters I've ever seen. Like you know, so big up to them. Big up to them.
I agree. I thought they were phenomenal, but also Arsenal were phenomenal, particularly in that first half. I've got to mention it. I thought player of the match was Havertz for me. I thought he was outstanding. And that's the best game I've seen Havertz having an Arsenal shirt. I thought he was phenomenal. Everything he did was spot on, Lee. He won every single ball in the air. He was brilliant with his link-up play. He tracked back and won the ball. He intercepted. He linked up. He scored the goal with his head, which was very, very underrated finish, by the way. Good underrated header. I thought he was phenomenal with Saka. I thought Saka and him were so good together. For the first time, I will say that I've noticed it. Saka and Havertz really, really linking up well together. And I actually do think, Lee, that was his best game, and he was player of the match. And I think what I love about Havertz is so much is not only has he got that little bit of nastiness and that shit housery, it's his work rate, mate.
Yeah.
He don't stop working. And I appreciate people who give 110%, and he's one of them, you know. Martinelli and Odegaard, they always get a little bit of credit in the bank for me because they always give 110. They're always working tenaciously to the last minute. And Kai Havertz is one of those, mate. You know, a lot of people thought that when he first came, he just stood around and ball hit off of him. And I think in midfield at times, he did do that a little bit more than he did as a number 9. I don't like him in midfield. I'm still going to say that. But up top, I really do like him as a number 9. And yesterday, I thought everything he did was phenomenal. And I thought that without him, he was that important that we might not have actually won the game without him. That's how important he was. You know, I know we played well and there's other players that played well, but everything he did going forward was what we wanted to see. Whether it was the chances that were missed, whether it was the chances he missed, whether it was flicks, whether it was goals. He did everything, and he was absolutely pivotal to everything we did well yesterday. And I know there's some people that don't like him. My mum's the same; she's not a fan, and I weren't a fan of him when he first came to the game. I don't think anyone was, Lee. If I'm honest, first few months, I didn't really do much, did he? Went and stood in midfield, working for him. I think since he's been in that number 9, I honestly think he's been one of our better players. I
Yeah.
really do. Like, I will say that, and I'm happy to put my hands up and say that I weren't a fan of him to start with, but he's won me over because some of the performances have been really good. And I thought he was really, really good yesterday. And I wanted to ask you, because you've always been a fan of him, even when he was in midfield, you used to say to him, yeah, I know he's not very good, but there's something about him I like. And I wanted to kind of delve into that more because you liked him straight away and I didn't. And I'm starting to see what you see now, but in a different position, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I didn't think he'd be as good as what he has been since he's gone up front. I think he's transformed us to a certain degree. But what I did see of him, even though he weren't playing well, I did see a player in there. I did see someone that done things that I thought, yeah, I can see. But I did like that his industry, his work rate, he was prepared to work hard. And I felt, even when watching him, things weren't going well for him. But he was never shying off the ball. He still wanted the ball. He still wanted to be involved. And I think that's a big thing. You know, I've played, and sometimes you think, I've played at clubs and you think, oh, I'm out of my depth here a little bit, like, and I'll just try and do the right thing. But he never did. He just kept working hard and kept doing things. And I just see something in there as a player that I like. I like players with a little bit of dark arts to them, a little bit of that, not nastiness, but they play on the edge. You know what I mean? I go back to the players that I've always liked. I've liked Eric Cantona when he was playing. You know, someone that would just be a little bit on the edge. Ian Wright was like that, always on the edge. Other players like, you know, Steven Gerrard had that side. Dennis Bergkamp had that side, Dan. You know, that
he did.
Yeah.
People don't recognise him for that either. People think Bergkamp was this beautiful footballer who loved the world and loved everybody. He was dirty, mate.
Yeah, he had dark arts to him, like, you know what I mean? Big Duncan Ferguson. I used to like him. There's that little nasty.
Les Ferdinand, another one.
Yeah, little villains in me I like, you know what I mean? Some, not all of them, but yeah. I don't know if you remember a player called Histro Stoichkov. Do you remember him?
Stoichkov, I do, yeah. Well, I don't remember watching him play, but I remember, yeah.
He played for Barcelona, Bulgaria. He was like fantastic footballer, but he had that little nasty streak as well, like, you know what I mean, watching him. So I've always liked those sort of players, and I'm not comparing Havertz to them, obviously not, but he's got that little side to him. Like, I always remember the game against Newcastle when everybody was kicking, all of us kicking us off the park. What's he do? Smashes one of them into the stands and all that. Like, little things like that. I thought, yeah, you'll do for me. But since he's gone up front, he really has found his. That's his position. I'm with you on that. Like, in midfield, he's okay. Up front, in that role, he just brings that. And do you know what I do like about him? And I do watch him quite a bit. Is that he's not your traditional centre forward that wants to get goals, because there's times when he just drops into positions and drops out and lets other people come in. But he just does it so well. And there was a bit of the play yesterday, which probably some people won't even remember. The ball goes up front to him. Like, he's got good centre halves around him, and he held them off. And then in the end, he drew a foul. And it's superb centre forward play. But it's part of being a forward. If you have to do that, and what it does is, and you know, people will appreciate if they played. It gives you that, releases the valve. It stops the pressure being on. You can then just all right, we can go out the field, we take the free kick and things like that. So yeah, and I think that he does that superbly well. If he's not playing well, and there were times he wasn't playing well last season, he would still put in 100% down.
Yeah, that's right. No, I give him that. I've said that straight away. That I think he deserves credit for that. You know,
and there is times when people turn around and go, "Well, you expect him to give 100%, you expect him to do that." You do, but what I'm saying, he was prepared to still be in the firing line and work harder. You can, like, pretend you can go out wide and pretend to be working hard. Do you know what I mean? But he wasn't. He was getting stuck in. He was in the firing line. And that's probably where a lot of the criticism come from, because they could still see, oh, he ain't doing the business, but he was still prepared to muck in and do that. And I'll tell you what, yesterday he's prepared to do the dirty work as well, like, and defend as well. He's prepared to run 30, 40 yards back, put his body on the line for the team, as well as put his body on the line to get the goal like he did. So I think he's a team player as well. And I think Declan Rice said it, you know, he really appreciates the work rate that he does and things like that. So I'm a big fan, but I understand why people are not. But he's not one of these players that you think, well, he's a bit lazy or whatever, like, when it ain't going well for him. He's certainly not that. He'll put in a shift whether he's playing well or not, and that's what I like.
Yeah, I think Havertz, don't get me wrong, I still want a striker. I'm not saying Havertz is the answer and we don't need a striker now. I think Jesus is the one I would worry about future-wise, because he's not looking himself at the moment. And we'll come on to that. But I think Kai Havertz deserves his flowers. Alan Shearer's another one, to be fair. People thought he was just a goal machine. He was horrible up front. He wouldn't want to come up against Alan Shearer. So I remember Alan Shearer and Roy Keane going at it that time at St James's Park, which was class. You know, he held his own. But look, I think he's a top player for us at the moment, and I think he deserves a mention. I wanted to come on to Saka and Martinelli, actually, Lee, together, because I'm a big fan of both of them. I know you are too. Saka wearing the armband again, another proud moment for him, wearing the captain's armband. And Martinelli, who I thought is definitely looking better with Calafiori behind him in the last few games. Again, another couple of opportunities. I must say, if that volley would have gone in, it would have been one of the best team goals I've ever seen at the Emirates. And obviously Martinelli with another chance in the second half, which I think he probably, looking back at it, don't know if he could have done better or not, really. It wasn't actually as easy as I thought looking at it first time live. But what did you make of these two performances on wide? Because I thought Saka was just his usual self, and he looks to be getting back to his best, if I'm honest, last few games. And Martinelli just starting to get back into the games again now, Lee.
Yeah, do you know what I said on my fan cam yesterday? I didn't think that Saka was great yesterday, and probably Martinelli as well. Like, but when you actually look back on it, they were up there. You know, they performed, caused a lot of problems. Like, you know, Martinelli, I think, you know, probably could have done better with that chance that you're talking about, the one when he sort of like put it on his right foot. But the volley, I don't think he could do no more than that. It was just unbelievable. If that goes in, you're right. It was a fantastic goal, and Saka would have been involved in that along with Havertz. So I feel what's happening at the moment, which is a good thing, is that there's been a lot of tension. Even yesterday, I noticed two players backing up on Saka, and Martinelli's the one getting the little bit of space, particularly in the edge of the box on a couple of occasions, at their peril, because he's going to start taking these chances sooner or later, like, you know. And I felt that both were dangerous yesterday, but the work rate they do to get back and everything like that, you know, you have to applaud them for as well, as you do with Havertz. They're prepared to put in a shift for the team. They're not looking to say, well, I'm missing out on assists or goals here and everything. They're putting their personal achievements aside for the team. But I thought that they were not at their best, but still influential in the game. I think that's probably the best way of doing it. Like, but certainly Martinelli now is coming back to being right where he should be. Just needs to put in a couple of. He could have had 5 goals in the last 2 games, Martinelli. So I think that, you know, 1 in 5, not perhaps good enough. So he's going to have to improve on that. But I thought Saka, like, you know, again, he's not like the Saka that we know. But he's still pulling up the numbers down, still scored yesterday. If he doesn't score that, we get it in, and someone gets a tap in on the far post, it's still an assist for him. So, you know, I think that they're getting better and better. And I enjoyed the performances of them yesterday. You know, I'm a big Martinelli fan, but I've tried to take
he's got better with Calafiori. I think he has. You know, he looks more settled now, doesn't he?
100%. It's funny that I think, and I said this today on the Forever Arsenal, is that I feel that Saka's suffering a little bit because this season the right side's been decimated. Ben White and Odegaard have been taken out. where the left-hand side now has got a bit more balance to it with Declan Rice and now Calafiori coming in there. And I made a comment a little while ago saying that no coincidence Martinelli weren't doing too well with everybody on the left-hand side right-footed. All of a sudden, Calafiori's come in, and if you see when he comes in there, his first ball it's a 10-yard ball then to Martinelli. Where it was like a 25-yard ball to from Gabriel. If you're a right back, you know the job is to tuck inside, as you know, to protect your central defender. But when it comes out wide, to get out there. Now, if you've got a ball which is going 25 yards, you've got a lot more time to get out there and engage. When it's only a 10-yard ball, there's the time. And I noticed that with Martinelli yesterday. He got so much more of the ball and so much more time to run at the fullback. Well, when it's Gabriel, when he receives it, the fullback's on him, Dan. You know what I'm saying? So now that makes it a little bit easier for him. And I feel that Saka is just slightly suffering from that because he's not getting it as much. But in saying that, Timber was outstanding in the first half and he did get a lot of the ball. I think that if I'll be really honest, Odegaard's missing Saka's missing Odegaard a little bit in those little pockets and all that, which will be sad. But listen, at the moment, I think that, you know, teams will be thinking, do you know what? We're putting 2 or 3 on Saka because, you know, they've got to worry about Odegaard and Saka. And they'll be starting going, do you know what? We're leaving too much now on Martinelli. So let's just switch over a little bit and that will open it up for Saka, like, you know. So, listen, I think that Calafiori done very, very well yesterday. And I've got to say, Kivio done very well as well. We come on and that was difficult over on that right-hand side. There was 4 or 5 times that I thought Calafiori was done with skill and pace, but he managed to get back and defend it really, really well. And I'm pretty sure Kivio was watching that and thought, oh, maybe we should have put Lewis Miles on, Miles Skelly on today, like, you know what I mean? But he didn't. He went with Calafiori, a little bit more experience, and I thought he'd done well as well.
Yeah, Kivior deserves a mention, and so does Calafiori. And I didn't think Calafiori had an amazing game, but certainly did his job. I thought that right-hand side, bro, I look at that and I think that left-hand side, Nuno Mendes and Barcola, they were causing some problems. And in midfield, João Neves was getting on the ball. They had some good players, Vitinha as well. You know, I was impressed by him. So, look, this wasn't a PSG side that was abysmal, and a lot of people are thinking that, you know, oh, well, of course Arsenal beat PSG. They're rubbish. They ain't got Mbappe anymore. You know, we had to go into that game knowing that it was going to be tough, and they're going to have some chances. But we did well. We didn't give them many chances. They hit the bar. David Raya did everything he needed to, come in from crosses, command of his area. And the biggest compliment I can give from Raya is actually he's playing a lot as a defender. You know, in terms of people saying, oh, he's an outfield player, it kind of is, because when he's out of possession, he's a goalkeeper, but in possession, he joins in. You know, he's actually one who's available. But Gabriel and Saliba are absolute monsters again, mate. I mean, Gabriel in the first half, that bit of defending where he actually cheers and celebrates it like he scored a goal is everything I love about him. Saliba just swept up, so comfortable, really composed. And I've got to say, Thomas Partey, like you say as well, deserves a mention, because everything that Partey did in that first half, it was an interception that went to Gabriel and Saliba. It was chasing back and winning it. It was passing it forward. It was finding the right pass. It was delivering. And actually, every time he got on the ball, it looked like Partey of 25 years old, not, 30 years old. So, look, perfect to take him off as well, in my opinion. Bring on Marino, who I thought, didn't really do much when he come on, but certainly what he did do was good, I thought, in terms of his passing. It looks like he's going to be a promising player for sure. But I have to mention, it was an absolute shame to see Timber go off, because when Timber did go off, I was gutted. I thought, now Arteta's come out and said it ain't serious. It's not an injury to keep him out for a while, so that's really good. But I was really impressed with him, mate. And I do think now, like you've said, I think Timber and Calafiori are the best fullbacks at the club. I have to say it now. For what we want right now, for the system we want, I don't think Ben White, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, Kivior are going to be walking into this side anytime soon. Because what I'm seeing from Timber and Calafiori at fullback is, I think, what Arteta wants as a system. Both of them can invert. Both of them are good on the ball. Both of them comfortable driving forward. Both good getting back and defending. Both fit enough to last. I know that Timber, obviously, and Calafiori have had their injury problems, but you don't look at them and think, oh, they don't look fit. They need to come off. I'm quite happy at the moment with that back four, Lee. And I don't know. I love Ben White. He's one of
Yeah,
my favourites, but it's hard, isn't it? It's a good
mate.
decision to have.
It's an hard one, like, you know what I mean. I still think Ben White. You know, I'm still not forgetting his performances, even this season. You know, like Song never got a kick at Tottenham Stadium, and Lookman never got a kick at Atlanta, and look what he done in the cup final. So I think that you're right. I think that that performance by Timber in the first half is as unbelievable as I've seen. But you know, there is still the question marks about his fitness. So they've got. I think this season, I think that you'll see him coming in and coming out and everything like that. All of a sudden now, we're all hoping that Ben White's fit for Saturday, and hopefully that he is. But there was times last season that Ben White was playing with injury and or not quite at his best, and this is what you need, Dan. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure Ben White was sitting in there yesterday thinking, right, I've got to make sure that I'm back and ready and going, and because if I'm not, then Timber could actually take my place here, and you know, I'd be worried if I was Ben White. I'm not going to lie. If I'm Ben White, I'm going to be like thinking, oh, this is not looking too good, because that was an unbelievable performance. But listen, I think that everybody, like a few people in the chat saying Timber over White. I get that, but it's very fresh what you've seen yesterday and all that. Like Ben White has put in some wonderful performances, and will still do as well. Like now, if I was to, I still think Ben White's number one at this moment in time, but it's, you know, very, very close now. And Timber, by the way, has played very, very well over in the left back position as well as the right. So you can, alternate that as well. And of course, don't forget, if Ben White's not fit, maybe Tommy Asu can come in there and fill in against Southampton.
Well, he's back now. He's back now.
Yeah.
You know,
so it's very interesting to see who comes in on Saturday. It'd be a really interesting one.
Yeah, it will, man. Look, the goals we scored were superb. I mean, Saka's one, it's gone straight through, another set piece. But Havertz's goal was brilliant, and Trossard was phenomenal. I mean, Declan Rice was really good as well. I must say that, in terms of not quite. No, I said this on my channel. It's like unexpected with Declan Rice. You don't quite know what you're going to get when he's on the ball. If you're a defender, you don't know if he's going to drive past you, pass past you. If he's going to, go backwards, he's very unexpected, and I think that's really good. Compliment for Declan Rice. But Trossard, he looked like he made that position his own yesterday. I thought last night, Ødegaard being out, we haven't missed him yet. And I think that's a credit to Trossard and the other players around him that we haven't missed Ødegaard, because I thought we would. But Trossard yesterday, Lee, the quick feet, the cross, which was inch perfect to Havertz, the delivery from him, the passing, the driving forward, everything that we did was good, was magic from him, wasn't it?
Listen, that's the best game that he's played for us. I thought that it wasn't just his goal contribution, his work rate. He was getting on the ball. He was making some good twists and turns. I thought he was very, very good in the first sort of. All of our good stuff come round his sort of play. So you have to turn around and go, well, that was unbelievable. His close control was brilliant. I felt that his running, his work rate, everything about him was the best performance I've seen Trossard at. Do you know, when you see Trossard at times, he pops up with a goal and he'll do something, and then you go, well, I haven't seen him for the last 10 minutes. He wasn't like that in this game. He was involved in everything good about what we was doing. He was involved, whether he was tackling back. There was a couple of times, I don't remember it in the first half, it was a little bit dodgy in there. Who comes in with a tackle and nicks the ball? It was Trossard. So I thought he was superb all game. And listen, I've been saying, right, Wanyeri needs to play on against Southampton. Who are you going to drop? Trossard. And then when Trossard's walking off and going, we can't drop him now. Not after that. You can't leave him out.
No.
I just think, he was absolutely superb. And if you're Trossard, you're actually saying to the manager, look, okay, I don't mind coming off 10, 15 minutes from the end there. But I better be playing Saturday. Because, do you know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be very harsh if he's left out on Saturday now. Very harsh. That
Yeah,
was
it
as
will.
good as
It really will, and it's hard. It's a great decision to have. When Arsenal are playing well, it proves that actually we do have sort of 15, 16 players that all want to get into this first 11. And yeah, we might be a couple short, and I still think we are, but it just proves how strong the squad actually is. Listen, people, do me a favor and hit the like button. We need to get to 100 likes as soon as possible. We just need over 30 to get there. So please make sure that you've hit the like button and you've subscribed. 2 buttons that are free that help the channel massively. If you can come and support myself on Football's 12th Man, I'm literally only about 85 away, I think, from 25k. So please make sure you do come and help both of us grow and help this channel get to 40k, which is our next target as well. There's over 300 of you in here, so I am absolutely certain that we can get it up to 150 likes before we end this stream. So come on, people, let's get sorted for that one. Lee, let's talk towards the weekend because he has got a decision to make, Mikel. You've mentioned there about Trossard potentially being undroppable, Martinelli and Saka with performances, Havertz with performances. Interesting, however, that he did not bring on Ethan Nwaneri last night. Does that mean that he starts on Saturday, Lee?
Don't know. The answer to me is I don't know because I don't know if you noticed it, but Sterling was doing some intensive warm-ups on the side, so I'm thinking he's going to come on, and he never brought him on. So I've got 2 trains of thought for this. I think that one, you've got to think to yourself, right? The team needs freshening up, maybe for this game because the internationals are coming. And hear me out on this: Declan Rice is not going to be rested for the next 2 England games, nor is Saka. Thomas Partey won't be also for Ghana. So I'm thinking, right, okay, when you know, and it is a joke when you think about it. Well, where are you going to? Oh, we're the ones going to have to make players rest, and we're the ones that pay their wages and whatever. But if you're going to make changes or freshen a team up for it, the one team you can do it is probably against Southampton. Now, the thing with Southampton is, you know, all the rumours going around that if he loses big on Saturday, he's sacked. You know what I mean? After a wonderful job that he's done at that football club, Martin, it would be very harsh, but that's what they're saying. That's what the reports are. So this is not going to be. It's not going to be an easy game. So I would make a couple of changes in this game just to freshen things up. I would bring in Jorginho for Partey, or Jorginho for or I'm bringing in Nwaneri for Declan Rice. One of those changes. I think like watching Declan Rice yesterday. I don't know if you see it. He looked absolutely shattered when he got off the pitch.
He did.
Absolutely shattered. But and Saka, I'll maybe leave out. And people go, "Oh, it's a bit risky and all that." But it's Southampton. Well, if you're going to believe in this squad, believe in this squad. You know, another one I'm going to say it. Then could do with a rest for me would be, dare I say it, Havertz. But I'll be frightened to leave Havertz out, you know, at this moment in time. Jesus, I don't know if he's going to step up. So that was the thing. I would make changes, but if he doesn't make changes, I'm not bothered. I don't know about how you feel about it. Like, you know, we've played the last 2 games with the same team. I'm not bothered if he does it again, and maybe, you know, get 2 or 3 up and then make the changes. I don't know, but I know that if he does make the changes, say if he does leave Saka and he leaves Havertz out, I would be very, very nervous going into the stadium. So it's a difficult one. This is where he earns his money, though, Mikel. I think he's got to do it, like, you know. It's true what people are saying, you know, was it like, you know, Jesus has to step up. He's on a lot of money. I get that, you know, but my panic station is that, you know, you put Jesus in, we was like playing really, really well, and he'd done it against Aston Villa, it backfired. So I'm a little bit reluctant to do it. But if you cannot do it against Southampton, when can you rotate? Preston?
I think you will. I think you will. The only thing is we've got an international break, so Arteta might just think, I don't care. I'm just going to play my strongest team, win the game, and then worry about it. But I think he'll make a couple of changes. I expect Raya to play. I expect Ben White to come in if he's fit, to give Timber a rest to recover this time, his turn to recover. I expect Calafiori to stay and Gabriel and Saliba to stay. He might look at the midfield a little bit differently, Lee. That's all. He might look at the midfield a different. I don't know how. Maybe he'll put Jorginho in, and maybe he will play Wanyeri. Maybe he'll look at resting Saka or Martinelli playing Trossard out wide this time, and maybe Jesus or Sterling might come in. But I don't think he's going to make 7 or 8 changes. I think he might maybe 2 or 3 tops. Southampton have been awful this season, mate.
Yeah,
They've been absolutely terrible. If we can't make changes and win in this game, I don't know when he will. So I think he might rotate a couple of players out. I'd like to see a couple of players rested. I think, like you say, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka, the Havertz maybe. Maybe you're going with Sterling and Jesus for this one. Trossard wide, and then play Ethan Wanyeri in the middle there. So therefore, Trossard's not getting injured. Trossard's not getting dropped. He plays him left and he puts Wanyeri in the 10. I don't know. That could happen. But we should be comfortably winning against Southampton. And haven't you noticed, all of a sudden, it's gone quiet on Arsenal again. Arsenal look convincing against Leicester, look convincing against Bolton, look convincing against PSG. And no longer are we playing Tony Pulis football. No longer are we trying to win with 10 men. No longer are we just getting everyone behind the ball. It's all crazy. So it was all crazy talk, and it's been proven by that. Look, I think we should have won those games. I don't look at Arsenal now and go, oh, I'm stunned that we've beaten them teams. I expected us to beat Leicester, Bolton and PSG, and we did. I expect us to go and beat Southampton, Shakhtar Donetsk and Bournemouth as well, if I'm honest with you. I think Liverpool could be a tricky one, but that's the only one that's tricky. I know we've got an international break in between that, which I'm praying no more injuries. And I think that Arteta might learn from that and say, Timber ain't going, or Ben White ain't going. Well, Ben White ain't going to go anyway, but you know what I mean? Some of these players need not to go. They need not to go now. And if Declan Rice is knackered, you just say, look, mate, you've got a knock, all right? And you're staying with us. That's the sort of thing we've got to do now, because it don't help. Declan Rice and Saka are going to play every game. Ødegaard played every minute of every game. Look what happened. You know, Havertz is going to play every minute of every game. All these people, like, that look at him. I don't blame him still, Lee, because if I'm the England manager, if you're the England manager, would you play Saka and Rice? Of course you would. They're 2 of the best players we got. He's not caring, Lee Carsey, about, right, I want Arsenal to win the league, so I'll sacrifice my job to rest Saka and Rice. They ain't going to do that, is he? He's going to play him. So I don't blame the managers, but it is just, this is why we have to play dark arts and say, he ain't fit. Sorry, Lee. You can't play him.
Yeah.
He ain't fit. Germany boss, Dutch boss, Timber ain't going, Havertz ain't going. This is what we've got to start doing. And, these games are pointless anyway. Does anyone actually care? Is anyone actually looking forward to watching England against bloody Greece and who else have we got? Like, let's be real. No one is.
I don't even know who they've got. They're playing Thursday, aren't they?
We got England versus Greece Thursday, and then Finland, England. Who actually cares about this Nations League against Greece and England? Like, who cares? Nobody gives a toss today. Like, if I said to you now, England have lost to Greece and Finland, Lee, would you go, oh my God, you're kidding me, I'm devastated? Or would you go, right, okay, cool. When's the Arsenal playing Bournemouth next then? Let's be real, no one would care about this Nations League, do they?
No, you know what I mean? Like, and listen, at the end of the day, realistically, if you're Lee Carsey, you can say, look, they can play against Greece at home,
But they rested against Finland.
Rested against Finland. Come on, like, let's do us a favour here. Come on, you can rotate that squad and still get results. I don't think you need to be playing Saka and Rice, but they played against. Was it Ireland and Finland last game? I don't know. They played both. They played all of the games. So for me, come on, do us a favour. But as you say, I don't know, Germany have got up front other than Havertz. So it is a worry. Like, Havertz played 90 minutes the last time, and he's done it again. And again. If you're not going to rest him against Southampton, okay. You're going to be resting him after the game against Bournemouth. If you have a look at our fixtures in the next few games, when do you rest players, Dan? Like, you know what I mean? Because I think if I'm right in saying what we got, Bournemouth when we come straight back, which is a Saturday, and then on the Tuesday, Shakhtar, you could make a few changes there, could you? Make a few changes, I suppose. Then you got Liverpool at home.
Yeah, no, you got to play strong there. That's what I mean. It's got to be Southampton and Shakhtar.
So you make a few against Preston, but like, as you said, you want to go deep in that competition. So it's difficult to say, right, we're going to start
I
leaving
think
out
when we
two men.
say a few changes, I'm not talking about going change 8 players.
Yeah.
I'm talking about maybe 4 players
Well,
tops.
yeah, 1 or 2. But then, after that Preston North End game, like then you got the Saturday, you got Newcastle away, Inter Milan away on the Wednesday, Chelsea away on
Horrible.
on the Sunday, right? So basically, like, love and behold, you've got Bournemouth away, Shakhtar, Liverpool, Preston, Newcastle, Inter, Chelsea away, and you know what comes after the Chelsea game?
No.
An international break.
Oh,
So there's some real tough games for us there. And then they've got another international break against, like, I don't know who they're playing, Azerbaijan or whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't care. You know what I mean? But that's what you've got. So when you've against, you're not going to be resting. And after that, you come back. You've got Forest at home, Sporting away, West Ham away, Manchester United at home, Fulham away, Monaco at home, Everton at home. You cannot be playing Havertz every game. So I'm going to say it now. Leave him out against Southampton. If you can't leave players out against Southampton, then they can't be in the squad. So I'm not saying wholesale changes, but 1 or 2. If I'm going to be honest, out of everybody there, I'll probably leave out Havertz on Saturday. Thomas Partey, because he's never going to be rested for Ghana. Like 2 90-minute games that he had last time. And,
there is another way. You play your strongest and you take your 5 best off. That is
Yeah.
the way I think he might look at it. I think
Yeah,
he might,
there is that. There is that.
and you play your strongest team that played against PSG, against Southampton. You get 2-0 up, like we were, 3-0 up if you can, and then you take off Havertz, Saka, Martinelli, Rice, Partey. You just take the 5 best you want off. That's the way he might work it. He might look at it like that. So I hope that we can get through that run. We could do that. Against Preston, however, I expect to see a similar side that played against Bolton. If I'm honest, I don't think he's going to go strong there at all. I think he's proven in the last few years he doesn't go strong in that competition, does he? So I expect to see Nichols and Lewis Skelly, Kivior. I expect to see Jorginho. I expect to see Jesus, Sterling, Wanyeri. I expect to see them against Preston. I do. So let's see what we have.
I think they look at the Preston game to have a bit of a night off, but they probably still have to go up there just in case it don't go our way. But listen, I think that if you're playing, I don't know, you got the same. Bit harsh on one of the players, but say like it is Sterling and Jesus up front against Preston. This could be good enough with another one, Ben. You know what I mean? Whether it was Saka last time, so say if it's Trossard this game, or Martinelli, and then get Martinelli off 20 minutes to go and bring on someone. I don't know, so Tommy Asu would definitely play in that game. Kieran Tierney, I think maybe could play in that game, but you're paying these players wages. They've got to. It's not just about getting through; it's about giving players a rest as well. So yeah. I don't want to see Saliba playing that game. I can tell you that now, because again, Saliba will be playing for France. Like last season, he was going to these French games and being on the bench. Now he's going to be playing in them. Starting them.
Well, all of our best 11 starts in the first team now for their international clubs.
Yeah. I mean, even Raya, isn't it?
I think there's only David Raya. I think they still play Unai Simon in goal. But other than I'd be amazed if he still plays in goal after Raya starts. So yeah, I think we're going to get a lot. There's only probably Ben White, I think, who doesn't go, and he'd play if he did go to England. So yeah, it's a good thing, but it's also bad for the rest and stuff like that. Look, we got to finish by talking on Mikel Merino. He did come on. I didn't think there was much that he did right or wrongly, if I'm honest. He had an okay, steady performance, some good passing. What I did like about him was he came on, it was like unleashing an animal from a cage. He was so happy to be on the pitch, and he looked focused. He looked like he wanted to impress. He went in hard. He tackled. He did well with his passing. But I wanted to ask you, when everyone's fit now, Jorginho, Partey, Rice, Merino, Ødegaard, Trossard, Wanyeri, what is our midfield three for you when everyone's fit?
Good question. I still think, Thomas Partey yesterday proved, just give you a little gentle reminder how good he is. I'm still going to say that three. Partey, Rice and Odegaard. I still think that would be the one that I would go with when all fit. I think Odegaard gives you a lot more balance to it. But, that's the good thing now is that these players can come in and do the business, Dan. And I liked his performance yesterday as a cameo. Do you know what I thought it was? Mature, sensible, experienced, knowing that he's wants to get minutes in his legs, doing nothing silly, making a few interceptions, nothing spectacular, just kept it all neat and tidy. Quite enjoyed that cameo, if I'll be honest. I thought it looked quite, he didn't push himself, didn't need to, so he didn't. So I like that. So I think it's going to be difficult at midfield, like what it is. But what it is now is that whoever comes in, even Jorginho, there's not much of a drop off in it, Dan. And that's what you want.
I know it was only Bolton, but he was brilliant against them.
Yeah. So
he's got quality still. He really has. But look, I think Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. I'm with you, but I think and I expect that Mikel Merino Partey substitution to happen quite a lot because Partey isn't going to be able to play 90 minutes in every single game, is he? So for me, I think if Merino's coming on for Partey and Rice drops in as the 6, and then Merino is the 8, and Odegaard is in his position when everyone's fit. That's a brilliant substitution, Lee, isn't it, to have to make?
Yeah, exactly that, Dan. Exactly that. It's encouraging, isn't it? I actually think the bench looked quite strong yesterday. If I've been for the first time, and then still Tomiyasu and Ben White to come on there. Imagine if them two are on there. Or, all right, Timber's probably going to drop out, but I think that you still got Shinchenko to come back. If they all come back and they're on that bench, it does make it look a lot better for us, So we're getting there, but yeah, I think you're right. At the end of the day, if Merino comes in now, you're not going, oh, it's not. Even if Jorginho comes in, And the other thing is, if that's what he wants to go with, then Thomas Partey is then becoming a squad player. That ain't a bad squad player, is it? Because that performance yesterday, you think, well, this go from there, So I'm a big fan of parties and all that, I'm reluctant to make changes on Saturday, Dan, because I just want to win the game. You know what I mean? And I don't want us to make changes. But I watched Southampton the other day, and I've slightly changed my mind a little bit because of I've been seeing all that. He's going to get sacked. They were awful against Bournemouth. And come on, would Jesus get in Bournemouth's team? Would Thomas Partey get in Bournemouth? Would Jorginho get in Bournemouth's team? I think they would. And that they could have actually been 5 or 6 up at half time there. Now, I know that you say, right, they're not going to have that sort of performance again. But if Arsenal are on their game, not many teams can live with us anyway.
No. I honestly think it should be like 4 or 5-0 this game. And I did say that.
I think you're right. It should be. It should be.
It should be comfortable, mate, and we should be able to look at this as a game that we've got to be going for. But look, I'm sure we'll do a show before that, talking about that game more specifically. But at the moment, I'm definitely confident. I'm with you on the bench. I think it is looking pretty strong. We've got a couple of kids on there at the moment, which means it will get even stronger when we've still got Ben White, Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, and Odegaard all to come back on that bench as well. So that's what we got to look at. Listen, before we do close, Lee, Football Prizes is back, mate, and this one is an absolute banger.
It's a banger if you love Martinelli. I'll tell you that now, because look, listen, I'm a big Martinelli fan. I know that you are. I think most Arsenal fans are, and I think most of us are big Martinelli fans, and I'm certainly I am, and to get a signed shirt from him would be very, very nice. And listen, Gabriel Martinelli 24, 25 Arsenal home shirt. Plus, look, there's 16 instant prizes there as well, like that you can win. So I'm looking at that. As I think there's a Julian Timber one there, like, you know. So some great prizes there. They've done it again. They've done it again. And I don't know where they pull these out of the bag, how they get them like. But Martinelli for $3.95, get yourself on that. It's well worth doing. And you know, to try and do it. Do you know what? I would love a Martinelli shirt. I'm going to say it now. I do. When I'm watching him play, I'm always wanting him to do well, Dan. Do you know what I mean? Like that, you know, so, and I'm pleased that he is starting to be a bit of form now, like, you know, so, you know, get yourselves on there, get yourself a chance to win that prize. That will be fantastic. And football prizes, they do it again.
I do it again. Make sure you get involved. You've got some unbelievable prizes there. Raya, Saliba, Jesus, and of course, Martinelli shirt. Make sure you go to footballprizes.co.uk and you've got to be in it to win it. $3.95. Get on it, people. And if you do win, let me and Lee know. Yeah,
We haven't had a winner. I don't think we've had a winner yet. Like, we want to start with again. So I want a winner on that.
We want a winner on that. Tom Canton got a winner from one of his shows.
Yeah, is he? Has Canton got a winner?
Yes.
Right, come on, let's get on it. I can't stand Canton. Let's get on it and start winning.
Love that, man. Love that. Listen, people, do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe. Make sure that you are tuned in to the channel. We're trying to get to 40k on this channel, so please make sure that you are part of the community by hitting like and subscribe. If you can, come over to myself as well and support the channel, Football's 12th Man. At 7 o'clock this evening, there'll be the Arsenal Roundabout. Myself, Northside, Igal, Kenny Ken, and Alex will be there talking all things Arsenal. So please make sure that you are also involved in that one. Lee, I'll let you say goodbye to everyone, mate, with the last word.
Yeah, we've got a problem tonight. I don't know how you feel about this. Harry Kane is playing for Bayern Munich against Aston Villa. Do we want Harry Kane to do well in this game? Or do we want Aston Villa and Martinez to do well in this game? Two pantomime villains are at it today. Coronation Street starts at 8 o'clock. Have a good night.